Hello, everybody. Welcome to It's Always Sunny in Hollywood. Today we are in the mood for many things, but I guess the main thing is love. So we're going to be talking about in the mood for love later. But first, let's get into some news.
What about us?
Oh yeah,
What about
You don't
I'm
love
Red Drum
us.
Arts. Yes,
what about
I'm Red Drum Arts. Here are the other two hosts.
My name is Patrick.
And I'm Lugia. Hi.
All right, now let's get into the news. So first, they are making a Winnie the Pooh R-rated film, and it is actually going to be Winnie the Pooh because it has been public domain since January.
I'm gonna be completely
Oh,
honest.
bother.
I'm excited for this movie, not because I think it's good. It's probably gonna be terrible. I just want to see Disney in despair.
Yes.
I have two words. Oh, bother.
This better be canon to Kingdom Hearts.
No, it can't be, but yeah.
Did they release a trailer for this, or is it just like
I
I saw the
article?
teaser
They have
image.
a-
I don't know
they
if
have a-
Oh, so
they.
there is,
they have a
a
teaser
trailer.
image. There's a teaser image, like not like a full trailer.
Okay. Like, what's it gonna be called?
I have no idea.
Quick brainstorm titles.
Honey Massacre. I don't know. I don't even know what it's about. I'm just gonna assume that Winnie's the slasher villain.
Yeah. I
More
don't
than
know.
likely,
Escape from the Ashdown Forest or the Hundred Acre Woods.
100 Acre Wood. Cabin in the 100 Acre Woods. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something with the word poo in it, but I can't.
Just Pooh Bear.
Pooh's Revenge.
Pooh's Corner. Pooh's Killing Corner. I don't know.
Speaking of some other movies, Rowan Atkins starred in the first trailer for this movie called Man vs. Bee. The
I
series.
saw. I watched the trailer. It's Mouse Hunt. It's
Oh,
Mouse Hunt with a B.
so it's okay, great. Combining the two greatest films of all time, Mouse Hunt and Bee Movie. Marvelous. All
No.
the 10 scenes from Bee Movie.
Okay, yeah. I saw the trailer when it started up and he's in court. I thought of B movie, but then my mind immediately went to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial where she said my dog was stung by a bee. You guys know that?
Yeah.
I didn't focus on the trial. I don't care for it.
I don't follow the trial either, but that has become such a joke online because it's such a weird testimony. But what happened? The house was invaded by a bee.
Anyway, the series is gonna release on June 24th, so that's about a month.
Wait, is it a series or a movie?
Series.
A series.
I
Ah,
guess so.
all right. Nah, it looked like the way it was presented. It looked like a movie.
Yeah, because you said movie.
Sorry, I didn't read the second line.
I don't know. But speaking of B movie,
Oh, I have no idea how to transition this. What do you mean?
Ray
Oh,
Liotta
Ray
was in B
Liotta.
movie.
Yes, Ray Liotta was in Bee Movie, and he unfortunately passed away at age 67. He's probably best known for his role in Goodfellas as Henry Hill, the main character. So yeah, rest in peace, Ray Liotta. Big fan. He's a very good actor.
Didn't he also play a character in Grand Theft Auto Vice City?
He did.
Yeah, the main
yeah.
character, right? I forgot his name though.
Tommy Vercetti, I think.
Yeah, I think that was his name.
Yeah.
But
He played,
rest in peace.
some relevant news to a couple, I guess, weeks ago. Why don't you take this?
All right. So, a few weeks ago, we talked about the movie Speed Racer, and that was quite a time, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was a fucking trip, let me tell you.
Well, one thing I forgot to mention is that the huge cult following surrounding Speed Racer, there's demand for a sequel, and even the cast of the movie is totally up for it. But we've heard no updates if a sequel is ever going to happen. But fear not, we are getting another live-action Speed Racer in the form of a series from Apple TV Plus with J.J. Abrams executive producing. Or Speed Racers. I have no opinion.
Listen, if
on
they
this.
don't fight ninjas in one of the episodes, it ain't worth it.
I just figured since we talked about the Speed Racer movie, it was worth bringing up.
Yeah.
If they want to be true to the movie, it's got to be batshit insane.
I don't know. Red, I know you're not really a fan of J.J. Abrams. What's your opinion on this?
I mean, if it's just producing, it's like it's a TV show. Like J.J. Abrams' TV show track record is fine. It's just like I'm not a fan of him as a director, which is as a
Hmm.
producer, I'm indifferent. I heard
Yeah.
his TV shows were good, so yeah, could be
You think
interesting.
you think this could be good?
I mean, Speed Racer started out as a serialized, as an episodic TV show. So
Well, yeah, but an animated episodic TV show. This is live action.
yeah, well, let's see if they can translate it to live action.
I mean, they did with the movie, and I think it worked fine.
Yeah, exactly. So they were able to do it in live action, and they were able to make the story work in a episodic format. I don't
We'll
really see
see.
how they can, they could probably pull it off.
What about you, Lugia? I know you
I
were you had no idea what to say about the movie. What do you have to say about
listen.
this?
My only experience with Speed Racer was that one movie, so I'm expecting this to follow all the cues. Just racing and fight scenes. More fight scenes than racing.
Okay, so this next discussion is a bit of a bonus miscellaneous because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not quite sure I understand it. Okay,
Yeah, I can
let me
explain
start.
this
No,
actually,
let
because
let, let
I'm a Morbius expert.
well let me lead into this by asking you guys a question. You guys remember the Morbius DS game?
Of course I have.
The
Yeah,
tie-in Morbius
Konami's
DS game?
best.
What?
Konami's best, where they had the box art of the
Absolutely.
box art.
Absolutely. But in all seriousness, Morbius has become like one of the biggest memes of the year.
Yeah.
And
See,
considering the fact
it's already been a meme.
I know it
Pretty much
has.
ever since the trailer came out.
Yes, but
Um,
now that the movie is released on digital, people are ironically watching it and
yeah.
posting it everywhere.
Aren't they
Well,
making a
here's the thing.
sequel now?
No, they
No.
have not. But people think that if we meme it enough, it might happen.
I'm
But
gonna be
what happened with
honest.
Morbius is basically so the meme was kind of dying out, but once released on digital, people started streaming it on Twitch. And the funny thing is that because no one cares about Morbius, the streams didn't get taken down for copyright for like a really long time. So people were able to watch the movie several times before shit got taken down.
I know somebody condensed the movie into a GIF. I have
Yes,
not found the GIF, but
I have found the
appar-
gift.
I found
I
it too.
will. Yeah, there's also a link going around on Discord where you can watch the whole thing. I've shared that with a few people.
I'm gonna be
Um,
honest.
In glorious
I'm not
160p.
I'm
yes.
not quite sure I get the joke. Is it just because?
Let me explain what the joke is. I can actually explain
Okay.
pretty well. So basically, Morbius is such a nothing movie. Like it's not even like bad enough to care about. It is a movie that there is just nothing to care about, and because of that, it would be incredibly funny if it had just obsessive stans. People were just obsessed with it, crazy about it. And the whole joke is that nobody gives a shit.
As
Like
some
it is there is nothing interesting to latch onto, and that's the joke. That something
as
this boring would get a huge fan base.
He
as
didn't
one
say
of
it's
the few
Morbin time.
as one of the few people who saw Morbius in theaters, I can confirm Morbius is a nothing movie. Like not even a so bad it's good movie. It's just dull. Like
Yeah, that's the thing.
the
If it
more
was
like
so bad it's good, the joke wouldn't actually work. This is only works because it is just nothing. There is nothing there.
okay, I understand it from that point, but why are people ironically watching it? Like if there's nothing to
Uh,
gain from it.
see, the thing is,
Either they want to play
I have
along
no
with the
idea.
joke or they don't know any better.
Because,
Yeah,
again, there's nothing like laughable about
here's the thing.
Morbius. It's
It's
just a
actually,
nothing experience.
I think some people just accidentally fell for the joke. Not watching it is honestly part of where the humor comes from. So like, the people who are actually watching it, I think they just got suckered in. But the Twitch streaming stuff is kind of funny though, just because like the streams went on for so long. But yeah.
Yes.
Ugh.
Actually, what
Um,
I told you guys about Morbius. I forgot to. Here's the best way I can sum up Morbius. It feels even though it's a comic book movie, it feels like a video game movie because
uh,
the fight scenes play out very much like QuickTime events. Like to the point where I'm almost expecting like a prompt to show up like press A, B, Y, whatever. I don't know. I got vibes of like like a really crappy video game movie when
So
I
out
was
of
watching
curiosity,
it.
when did you see this movie?
I saw this movie like opening weekend, just with some
Okay.
friends because it was like a spur of the moment thing. They're like, "Hey, you want to see Morbius?" I'm like, "Whatever."
Okay, so I think a good indication of how Lugia Patrick feels about this movie is that he forgot to review it when
No,
he
I did.
No,
I
he
told
did.
you guys about it.
we did. I
Yeah.
do not remember you talking about this movie at all.
Well,
I had no idea you
that's
saw it.
that's how forgettable it is. It's so forgettable that you forgot I even saw it. I don't know. So I get the joke, but I don't. Okay, I get the joke, but I don't get why people are watching it. Is what I'm getting at.
They want to be a part of the hashtag Morbius sweep.
I don't know. The point is, Morbius is dull. It's
Soon the word morb is going to have its own context in the Urban Dictionary.
I don't know, but enjoy your 15 minutes of fame, Morbius. So let's actually talk about love.
Yes, so In the Mood for Love. So this is a 2000 romantic drama written by and directed by Wong Kar-wai, who is a very prolific Hong Kong director. I'm a big fan of a lot of his other works. This is a co-production between Hong Kong and France, which I find interesting. The cinematography was actually done by Christopher Doyle because which I find interesting because he's actually an Australian. He's a white man, but he I guess grew up in Hong Kong. He's worked on Wong Kar-wai for pretty much all of his movies. It stars Tony Leung and Maggie Chung, who are and the general plot is they're spouses who their spouses like their partners are having an affair together, and they basically like end up sort of confiding in each other, and then they slowly develop feelings, and that's sort of the general loose plot. Anyway, this movie came out in May 20th, 2000, so roughly exactly almost 22 years to the day. It was critically acclaimed, nominated for the Palme d'Or, which is basically the highest award in international cinema. Tony Leung won Best Actor, so he was the first Hong Kong actor to win such award. Yeah, and it's often considered to be one of the greatest films of all time and one of the major works of Asian cinema. In a 2016 survey by the BBC, it was voted the second greatest film of the 21st century by 177 critics around the world.
May I ask what beat it out?
Mulholland Drive.
Huh.
So that's the David Lynch movie, which we'll probably talk about someday. But yeah,
We'll see.
so number one was Mulholland Drive, and number two was In the Mood for Love. Yeah, and the critic consensus was sort of a never before has a film spoken so fluently in the universal language of loss and desire. Yeah, this is a second part of an informal trilogy, like a spiritual trilogy, alongside Days of Being Wild in 2046. I have seen Days of Being Wild, that's also pretty good. I've not seen 2046 yet, but yeah. I kind of already basically went over the general plot, which, so I guess we can just hop into our thoughts, right?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Why don't you guys go first?
All right, Lugia.
All right. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I might just take a backseat for this one. This is not a movie catered towards me. Like I get what it's trying to say, but a lot of the romantic drama and the slow scenes just like don't do it for me. I don't know. Is that sacrilege? I mean, I did like it. It's
each
just
their
I
own.
didn't grasp a whole lot of it.
No, that's completely fair. Because the first time I saw it, I was like, "This is pretty good," but still not my favorite. But upon rewatch, multiple rewatches, I'm like, "Ah, this is now it's my favorite thing ever."
If I were to give this another rewatch, maybe, but I want to give myself some time before I do that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'll say I thought the romance was good, but what really captivated me in this movie was the cinematography.
Oh
You said
yeah,
who was the cinematographer for this movie?
Christopher Doyle, who
Christopher
basically
Doyle.
There were some good
You-
shots.
yeah, I don't think you know him because most of his work is just with Wong Kar-wai. He's just
Probably not. I don't know the names of many cinematographers, to be honest.
Yeah. Almost all of his movies are just stuff he did with Wong Kar-wai. So yeah, I would doubt if you guys haven't seen his other
Do
stuff.
most of his movies look like this one?
Stuff with Wong Kar-wai does, yeah. He's also
Because-
done that movie Hero. That you remember that action movie from 2002, Hero? It was pretty popular in the West, surprisingly.
No.
Okay. He also did Lady in the Water, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, one of his few
I
English
have
films.
heard of that one. I've not seen it.
It's
So.
not good. I can tell
It's
you
not
that right
good.
now.
It's not good, but visually it looks, decent.
Well, this man loves his rule of thirds. I call this rule of thirds the movie.
Yes.
But no, in all seriousness, this movie captivated me by how it looks because
Yeah. The
a lot of the
colors.
time, not even that, like the way the characters are framed in the shots. Because
Oh,
most
yeah,
of the time
absolutely.
when there's two people in frame, you almost never see both their faces at the same time.
Yeah. I think they did that like to sort of indicate like I don't know, sort of the disconnect between whatchamacallit, because like
The
you never
couples.
see their spouses. Yeah, you never
No,
see
no,
their
you never
spouses
do,
throughout
and
the whole
Yeah.
I
movie.
think that's really clever.
Yeah. It's called In the Mood for Love, and I just really love the mood of the movie, just the general like tone and vibes of it. Yeah.
Not only that, but I
Um,
also loved how a lot of the shots are filmed from a distance or of a reflection. It's almost like we're spying on them.
yeah, yeah. Got a
But this
sort of
movie, like
voyeuristic feel to it.
You
this
fucking
movie, instantly
peeping
captivated me
Tom.
just from the cinematography. Like every shot, I'm like, why did they do it this way? Or what does this mean? Why is it shot from a reflection? This should be taught in film schools. I might be jumping the gun. This should be taught in film schools.
But
mean, it
instead we're
is.
taught Citizen Kane, which I mean is still a great movie, but it's also a product of its time.
No, I mean this is taught in film schools. And if you ever
Good
get
for
into
good
like
reason.
This is the first
Like-
I've heard of this movie, let me tell you.
yeah, well, I mean it's in like the when you talk about the foreign language stuff. I don't know if you've gotten into any of those.
No.
But yeah. And the world cinema thing. But yeah, just
Yeah,
everything
no,
about the
cinematog-
presentation hits. I
For
really
me,
like the
cinematography
editing.
is great. Movie's good.
I really like the editing, like the way it, like dissolves and stuff. All the cross, like it makes it feel like a memory almost. Again, and also the spying thing kind of helps leading into the whole making it feel like an affair kind of thing. So yeah, you can feel the loneliness, may feel the affair. So it's just like it's a very well directed movie.
There were some editing choices I didn't quite understand. Like,
The jump
what
cut
was
with the spiral staircase, that looked very off, especially because it cut like back to a second beforehand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. That was a moment of urgency. I think she was trying to look for him. That made sense to me. No, but what threw me off was the alleyway scene. They do it twice back to back. What was that about? Where they just get out the restaurant and they're walking, and he says, "Do you want to do something else?" And she backs away from him. And then they play the same scene again, except she grabs his hand.
I think it was just like imagining an alternate thing. I saw this movie like a week ago, so it's a bit rough in my head. But yeah, I think you might have just misinterpreted what was going on there. But yeah,
Maybe there was that, and
Um,
also at the end of the movie, they get archived footage of like a major world conflict. Was that just to show the passage of time?
I think so.
yeah.
That was weird because every other time they show the passage, it's just text. So why all of a sudden to show like a drastic change in the world? Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
One more thing with the editing. I like how many scenes, they kind of start mid conversation, and you think that it's just a normal conversation between the two. But then it's revealed that they're, imagining how their spouse's affair went down. I thought that was kind of a clever trick. How many scenes kind of mislead you into what you think's going on. Whatever was missing the first time I saw the movie, definitely not missing the second and third time I saw it. So I would recommend you guys watch it again later down
This
the
is
line.
this
Yeah.
this is definitely a movie I'm gonna watch again at some point.
Yeah, the dialogue first time around, I was like, it was a bit thick, a bit hard to parse through. But second time around, I was like, nah, this like it really hits for me. This is probably like my favorite romance movie ever. Like I put this in like my top 4 movies currently. So like that shows how much I love it. So, but yeah, the acting, I guess that's obvious. Next thing, I thought the acting was very good. I think Tony Leung is like one of the best actors like ever.
Who's the lead actress? What's her name?
Maggie Chung.
She is incredibly pretty.
Yes, she is. She's in a couple movies, a couple Wong Kar-wai movies, but she was also in Jackie Chan's Police Story, if you ever seen that, and Hero, which I know I mentioned a couple times, but yeah.
One other thing I want to mention is, remember how I said I loved how Dazed and Confused looked like a movie made in the 70s, despite it being made in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks like a movie made around the time that the movie is set. Like, despite it being a 2000s movie, it
The
looks much older.
50s, I think.
60s.
Yeah,
60s.
yeah.
Okay.
This movie takes place in like the 60s. Yeah.
I love when movies go out of their way to look like they were made in the time they're set.
What I find funny is that Wong Kar-wai kind of does this a lot, but like the scripts are never like his scripts are never like really solidified before they start shooting. They kind of like work it out throughout, and I just couldn't like. That's just something I couldn't tell. Like this movie script wise, I thought felt very like tight and like they had a very clear goal with it. But yeah, no, it wasn't like this movie was kind of production wise a lot looser than you may think, despite how tight it is. I did think the ending was kind of bold with them not getting together. I feel
Yeah.
like if this movie was made in America, it probably would have gone that route.
Also, they never kiss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
They don't really engage in anything physical, which I thought was interesting.
I mean,
Yeah, it was just like a
they
purely
hug.
emotional.
They hold hands, but that's about it.
They hug each other sometimes, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
it's interesting to see a love story that isn't very physical.
yeah, it was just entirely an emotional thing, and I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty.
I was expecting full-on sex.
Yeah, no, this is I don't know. It's. I feel like the talking though gives it like a much more like intimate feel almost because like this whole movie is basically just like a bunch of series of conversations between like the two leads.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever seen like the Before trilogy, it's kind of has like a similar vibe. That one's just like a one continuous conversation, but versus this one's like sort of broken up over time. But like, if you look at maybe the trilogy as like a whole, it's like yeah, it's kind of gives a similar vibe.
I was kind of reminded of the musical Company at points. I mean, I saw that a few weeks ago. But Company is all about relationships and the benefits and disadvantages of single life and married life. So a lot of the conversations in here kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah. I like how some of the shots kind of like repeated at times. Obviously, you
Mhm.
got the staircase thing, that
Clock.
slow motion thing. Yeah. Really love the color red.
Oh yeah,
This is
this
a very
Yeah.
red movie.
this movie's more red than Blue Velvet,
I
which is
mean,
a weird
isn't-
sentence to say.
Isn't
It's a
the
weird
meaning of the
sentence to
color
say.
red passion?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It was a very intentional choice. And so it got a very red poster, though honestly not as red as the poster. So I don't know. Yeah. Obviously I'm gonna give it like a 10 out of 10. First time I saw it was like a 9 out of 10, but this time definitely 10 out of 10.
I got one more thing to say.
I'll go
Go for
ahead.
it.
The soundtrack, there's like 2 songs.
Oh yeah, the 3/4 string piece
Yeah, yeah.
and a few pop songs in there.
I don't know, I kind of wish there was more musical variety, since you hear that one song throughout most of the movie and they play the other one like 3,
Yeah,
4
but, like-
times near the end.
I guess, but
Fair enough, but
isn't
it's
it like a
like a folk-
leitmotif?
It
No,
doesn't
a
bother me.
leitmotif would
It
have
fits
different
in.
variations of that song.
Well, kinda. But yeah. I don't know. Didn't
Still
bother
better
me.
than Fateful Findings.
I...
And again, anything is better than Fateful Findings.
Alright, you know what? I'll give you that one.
Obviously 10 out of 10 to me. Guess what are your guys' final thoughts?
I really enjoyed this movie. I thought the romance was good. I loved the way it looked. This is definitely, like I said, this is definitely a movie I'm going to come back to at some point.
I definitely need to give this a second viewing at some point, just because I wasn't able to understand it as well as you guys, nor is it generally my cup of tea. So I
It's
might
fine.
look more positively on it upon the second viewing, but for now, 7 out of 10. It's definitely not bad. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
And that's
Um,
perfectly fine.
Yeah, again, it took me more than one watch to get around to this movie. Now, I'm going to recommend the other few Wong Kar-wai movies I've seen. So obviously, this is part of an informal trilogy of Days Being Wild and 2046. So you can watch those two. 2046 I think actually follows up on Tony Leung's character in this. So that's kind of cool. But anyway,
His turn.
the other two movies I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, so Chungking Express and Fallen Angels. Those are the other two Wong Kar-wai movies I've seen. I'd also give those two a 10 out of 10. But I feel like those are a bit more accessible than this movie. You guys might like that. It's still very unique, very different, similar vibes. Obviously, same director, but highly recommend those two. And if I'm going to talk about some American movies, Up in the Air has like a sort of similar tragic romance thing to it, and it's kind of a general similar vibe to it. That's another personal favorite of mine, and the Before trilogy, which is an entire trilogy, but it's if you look at the trilogy as a whole, it's got some parallels.
So now Lugia,
Yes, Lugia,
all
your turn to
right,
recommend.
what you got?
Okay, so this is yet another movie that is kind of popular and I've wanted to see for a long time and I've never gotten around to it yet. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Maybe Red has. I feel like you might have seen it. I will just say this though. The first rule about it is that you don't talk about it.
Yes. Oh God. For the longest time, this
That's
was my
good.
favorite movie.
That's a good one. And we don't even need to say the title. To know what it
Exactly.
is. Don't say it.
For the longest time, this was my favorite movie. So yes, I have seen this many times.
I have not. I only know that line.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Someone else is in the dark.
Great. Cool. We haven't talked about David Fincher yet, have we?
The name sounds familiar. Maybe
He's the
not.
director of this movie. So okay, yeah. I guess we haven't. I don't think we've talked about David Fincher movie yet. So great. I have seen all but one of his movies. So as you can tell, I'm a big fan of his work. Yeah, this man used to be my favorite director, and this movie used to be my favorite movie, and they're still up there. So yeah,
Match
I'm
made
looking
in
forward
heaven.
to it. So next week we will be watching this film. Should we actually say the title? just for
No.
the people that
No,
okay,
don't.
Okay.
Don't.
Okay.
That's the rule.
Because it's the rule.
All right.
You don't break the rules unless you're living in the wild, wild west.
Okay. So I guess next week we're gonna be seeing that film. This has been It's Always Sunny in Hollywood. See you next week.